Welcome to this episode of Brewer Territory. I'm your host, Kurt Hogue, here with my pal, J.P.Fire Eisen. It's a Kurt and J.P. show today to break down the Brewers series against J.P.'s former team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Did you bring, if in honor of the Dodgers, did you bring any of the World Series rings? Do we have those?
I didn't. I'll have to bring them on next show. We're up north right now, so I didn't bring them up with me. But when we get back home, I'll pull them out and we can show them off a little bit. But yeah, for this series, obviously, I was thinking we were going to be able to bring them out, but being up Memorial Day weekend, we're up north watching the games up at the cabin. So no rings with me this day, but we'll bring them the next day.
I guess I do find it a little, maybe I was going to say funny, but funny is maybe not the right word. Like you just won a World Series with the Dodgers last year, but you're like hard core rooting for the Brewers when they play each other right
absolutely. Now. Yeah, I mean
that's just the way it is.
That's our team. I mean, I'm Wisconsin kid through and through, and it's funny when you're sitting up Memorial Day weekend and everyone's sitting around watching the TV, watching the Brewer game. It's like, you know what, this is great. Everyone's up here. It's a family weekend, and we got the Brewers game on. The best thing is I got up here. And on Thursday, I got up here Thursday night, off day for the crew. And stepdad, my fiance's stepdad goes, I don't know what I'm going to do. The Brewers don't play tonight. I'm like, I don't know. I'm bored too. What are we going to do?
How do we do it for 5 months out of the year? Seriously. Like you get into this rhythm. I will say I do enjoy. I was up in Kaukauna, the Fox Valley area for a funeral on Friday. I think it was Friday. Yes, Friday. And I didn't work that day, and the Brewers were playing that day, and it was still interesting to see, and fun to see, because I don't get outstate a lot other than driving through here and there. So it's cool to see that the passion extends well beyond the vicinity of Milwaukee that we get to see down here every day. And probably a lot of our listeners and followers are from who knows where.
Who knows Wisconsin, where? Yeah, that's the best part about it. And that's just Wisconsin sports though, right? Packers, Brewers, Bucks, it's Wisconsin fans are Wisconsin fans only, Badgers, which hopefully, someday we'll have a Wisconsin Badger basketball player on here with Decker, and that'll be great
soon.
To talk about the Brewers with him. Yes, soon.
Yes,
we got to get that set up with him. I know he's excited to come on and join with us and talk Brewers.
Huge Brewers fan. Big Brewers fan is probably an understatement for Sam Decker. We had Jake Bowers on. That was a great guest. He was awesome. We got another player coming for you in a couple days. That'll be exciting. Little teaser there. But let's kick it back into gear for the weekend series. We talked about the Cubs series. I mean, that was incredible baseball for the Brewers coming away with a sweep there. Overall, 4-2 weekends, Cubs and Dodgers. You take that. But I think a lot of people are going to look at this Dodgers series as a measuring stick, as a barometer, just because, it's obvious. The Dodgers are that team, man. They are the best team in baseball until proven otherwise. And given what happened in the National League Championship Series, as a Brewers fan, do you want to see something? Did you want to see something in this series? Kind of take me through, what your expectations were and how you kind of view the measuring stick side of it.
As far as measuring stick side, I think we're right there. It's just there's just a few things here and there. It helps them. They have a lot of power in the lineup, and they have they can run out 3 MVPs. They have guys that are hitting 5, 6, 7 for them that would be hitting 3, 4 on other teams. And I think for a measuring stick for the Brewers, game 1, obviously getting the win, huge start for the series. And then game 2, some things went kind of sideways for them, and they got into our bullpen and obviously didn't get into our higher leverage arms, and we gave up some runs late in the game, and that's kind of why it turned into a lopsided game. And then game 3 was, just one of the, definitely there's moments in the game where things could have flipped the other way, but they just happened to go LA's way. And that just kind of happens when you have, who they have in their lineup and also in their pitching staff, right? They didn't get to see our horses. They didn't get to see 1 and didn't get to see 1 and 2 from us. So that's another game changer where if Miz is up there and he's throwing, and also Harrison's up there and he's throwing, it might be different ball games. So I think as far as a measuring stick, I think we saw the stick and we're there right here and we're that close, right? I mean, there's a few things that can happen in a baseball game and that can, get us an opportunity to beat them in a series, but it just shows that in a 3-game, not only a 5-game and then a 7-game set, things we're gonna have some things roll our way here and there to have some to have. I also think if they have to spice in a series.
So it's interesting because the Brewers. Sorry to jump in there. It's interesting because the Brewers at one point
absolutely
had won. They'd won 9 straight against the Dodgers in the regular season. As of I think Friday night's game, and if they'd won Saturday, that would have been 10 in a row against a single opponent, which I believe had only been done 8 or 9 times before in franchise history. That's an incredibly rare thing to happen, and they would have been doing it. They didn't accomplish it, obviously, but 9 in a row still against these Dodgers at the peak of their powers. It creates sort of this conundrum for anyone that's trying to and maybe this is on us for trying to make sense of the game of baseball, but you see, when the Dodgers are at their best, it just feels like this behemoth. You think back to the NLCS last year and you pitch Glasnow and Snell and Yamamoto and Ohtani, and the Brewers were any team in baseball, any lineup in baseball over the last 10 years would have been helpless in that series with the way that those guys pitched. So it kind of leaves us in this middle ground, right? Of, the Brewers could have swept the Dodgers in this series and you'd feel great. You'd feel great about where they stand. But does it boil down ultimately to let me see you do it in October, or how do you make sense of this, I guess, idea that we can't really make sense of?
If you want to beat the best, you got to beat them in 7 games, and that's the number one thing, right? You look at 3-game sets. Yeah, obviously the first round of the playoffs and the wild card and all that stuff. You have these quick series, but when it comes to it, it's best of 7 is what you have to be, best of the best, right? Toronto last year found that out. They were that close to beating LA in a best of 7 series, and things just unraveled. And that's the thing is you can't have minor mistakes. You can't have guys. You can't hit guys in certain scenarios. You can't hit the 9-hole and allow the top of the order to come up and have an opportunity to score runs. Just little things like that are what change a game from being a winnable game to it's the Dodgers. We got now we have Mookie, Freddie, Teo, Tucker, Muncy. We get their lineups loaded, but this pitching staff, this pitching staff's loaded. That's all I've heard from people in Wisconsin is this starting 5 that we got going on right now is incredible for how young they are, and just the Brewers have it. They have the pitching staff to pitching wins championships. I don't care what anyone says.
We saw
starters in the playoffs.
We saw that. If you have 3 starters in the playoffs, good luck, because when guys can get 6 innings and 7 innings in the playoffs, and then they have bullpen guys that have been starters the whole year come in, and obviously the Brewers are showing it with starters that they've turned in the bullpen now, we've been talking about for how long now with Chad and also Shane. And they have the arms. That's the thing. Now it's just if they can turn those minor little losses into wins in those playoff games, they have an opportunity. So I want to ask you, as someone that has a unique perspective of having been around these gargantuan Dodgers teams, if you could describe the mindset that you picked up on from the clubhouse, is it almost an unbeatable aura of sense, or kind of how do the Dodgers perceive the Dodgers?
Business. This is a business. and they perceive it as a business. I mean, if you go when you're in their clubhouse, everyone's working, everyone's trying to get better still, even though they might be the best MVP. Like they're still striving to get better. I think that the crew is doing the same exact thing. So, they just don't have the money and the financial backing of LA.
They do not.
But yeah, I mean that's their aura is the Dodgers walk into a stadium and they think they should win a series every single time, right? They look at it like if we don't win the World Series this year, it's a bust. And I mean that's how you have to have a mindset when you're that team and you have the payroll that you have and you have the superstars you have. You should feel that way. But I do think that this team gives them a little bit of these guys they're gonna give us a battle when it comes to it.
Do you think the Brewers, not saying the Brewers don't have a World Series mindset, I don't want to imply that at all, but when you talk to Murph, you kind of go around the clubhouse and talk to players, it is not, the expectations aren't the same. So the conversation and the words used aren't the same. Like World Series is, of course, the goal for the Brewers. Is it the expectation? Maybe, like, I don't know if that matters at all, but like, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, is there room for the Brewers to kind of up their own internal expectations, I guess, with the way that they speak about it? Because there's no question in my mind that like those guys expect to win the division, go to the playoffs, but then there is still a little bit of this, aw shucks, we're the underdog, we're the small market team mentality. And I don't know if that even matters, but it is something that I do think about from time to time. And especially when they play the Dodgers and sometimes the Cubs too, that's really when it comes to mind of like, you don't hear a ton of, you'll never hear World Series or bust from the Brewers. I'm not saying that's necessarily a good or bad thing, but I just wonder if there's more room to like embrace World Series expectations around the team. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I totally think there is. I think that it's going to take somebody maybe in a series like, we didn't get to see Miz, but if Miz throws against LA and he's on the mound and he goes through 7 and he's fired up and it's like everyone on the team should be like, what do you mean? We should beat these guys. We have, if not the best pitcher in the league, one of them. And then our number 2 is right there with them. A completely different way of getting outs, but 1-2 punch in the big leagues right now. Give me the cruise, right? Like that's just like,
oh yeah,
it's, and once it comes to that series, like I think that the guys maybe it will become a mindset where it is a World Series or bust because we're good enough. So I definitely think that there's room to grow with this team. They've been in big situations. Big Woo's hit homers off a Hall of Famers in playoff situations. So I know that pitchers don't hit anymore, but like that's the kind of statement like thing that you need from one of your guys on your team to do. And then everyone else on the team realizes like, hey, we're in the same class as these guys. Maybe we might not be in the same payroll and the same atmosphere as far as fame and the publicity, but we're just as good at the game of baseball as these guys are, and we can prove it.
I think that's what really burned them in the series last year or I guess it burned them after the series, is the Brewers, like they believed that. And I think it really hurt them to not be able to showcase that, to just get beat. That's what happened. They just got beat 4 straight games. And I feel like that there's still some simmering tension.
The tough thing with that is the Dodgers are able to have like a stock of pitchers, right? Guys on their roster are either on the IR and they're sitting there getting their couple months off during the year, get their build up. They have their kind of spring training in July and August and September. And then all of a sudden October comes around and it's a brand new season for half these guys. So that's the thing, that the difference between, the Brewers don't have that glorious opportunity to just have this stockpile of paid arms. They have a stockpile of young arms right now. And just an absolute farm of them, and they're impressive arms. But the fact that they're able to have guys on IR and bullpen arms on both relievers, and so that's the only thing that, like, that's the difference. Is money definitely has a big factor in this, and as far as talent, I mean, the Brewers starting five with the guys now, and then once injuries come back, I mean, like, the crew's right there. So like, that's a fan. You have to be. Yes, they lost this series, but through the grinderous month that they've been, for one, it's been absolute team after team after team. Came off a Cubs series where they swept them and made them look actually foolish, in my opinion. The Cubs look like made the center fielder supposed to be old fielder, had a few errors. The Brewers made some teams in this stretch look like they don't deserve to compete with them. And obviously they got LA at the end of it and St. Louis coming up. But like, once they get out of this stretch, I think, what do they have? Houston and St. Louis to finish up this month. Once they're out of this month, it's going to be like a breather, in my opinion. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, all right, we faced all the juggernauts. Now we're good.
I mean, there's no reason to think. I've always thought this too. Like, you're beating the Cubs, they beat the Yankees, they beat the Padres. They have not played a bad team all month. They played really well against really good teams. I've always been of the belief that, just because you lost in 4 games to the Dodgers doesn't mean you can't beat the Dodgers. Although I do understand the skepticism from Brewers fans, just because of the talent that is there. But man, you talked about Miz. That is the guy who is the equalizer for this team. If these teams meet in October, like, there's also the possibility that, like, you can get through without having to play the Dodgers. Someone else, I mean, no one has recently, but someone else could take care of the Dodgers. Like, if Orion Kerkering throws the ball, like, he doesn't have a mental blunder in game 4, maybe the Phillies win that series. Maybe it goes back to Philly and they win it. And so it is tricky to kind of like forecast, but we all do know that, the National League and Major League Baseball runs through the Dodgers until further notice. And the Brewers have proven to be right there. The Brewers are also, hopefully a run into October, and they'll be right there as well. And maybe Miz is the guy that can help elevate them just as one of the best pitchers in baseball. All right, let's take a quick break here, get a word from our sponsor from today's show, and then we'll get back to talk a little bit more about the nitty-gritty of Sunday's game in particular and what to do about Brandon Sproat.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel is giving you a chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home of home runs. So, are you ready to play your game? Head over to FanDuel.com/podcast to get started. That's FanDuel.com/podcast to opt in for daily dingers. Make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball. Swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, we are back. Let's wrap it up with talking about Sunday's game, which was kind of a clunker. Saturday's game, also a clunker. Not great showing. Not the Brewers' best showings, but like you said, they also didn't throw their best arms a lot in this series. Let's talk about Brandon Sproat in particular. After his outing, Pat Murphy reaffirmed that they're going to keep him in the rotation. The upside's too high. As Murph said, it reminds me of a lot of what we went through with Miz last year toward the end of the regular season, when his ERA, I think, was over 6 for like a eight start stretch or something like that. And it's easy to forget, JP, how many questions were being asked about what the heck Miz was doing on the playoff roster. I had a lot of angry people in my mentions when we reported that Miz was on the playoff so he ends up being the best performer. But It's like, it is kind of crazy to think about where he was not that long ago. And that is sort of the lens in which the Brewers are framing Brandon Sproat for the time being. Let's just quick talk. Tell me about what you saw in his start on Sunday against the Dodgers, both good, and then obviously there was some bad in there as well.
I mean, number one, his walks and hit by pitches, obviously, that's like, right. That's the number one issue is that's the kind of the knock with Brandon is he can get wild at times and kind of lose batters here and there. And I mean, that's kind of what we saw on Sunday or today is he just kind of, what do you have? I think he had 3 walks or 4 walks.
Four walks, a wild pitch, and then the hit by pitch to Miguel Rojas, which
so,
that was a bad one.
I mean, we've all seen it with this stuff, right? He's got absolutely electric stuff. I mean, it's not Miz type stuff, but it's still like upper echelon type starter stuff, and that's why I think that what Murph said and keeping him in the starting rotation. I mean, we've seen the best out of him. Right? He's gone that 6 innings where he's been just absolutely locked down and dotting things up and seeing, I mean, his stuff is just incredible. So that's like, it's really hard, the upside and everything. And you have to get these guys their feet wet now that you got to have them. Like, I think this was a great opportunity for him to see what lineups in the big leagues, like this is the best of the best. So like, see what your stuff does against the best of the best. And I mean, yes, today didn't go exactly how he wanted to. But if he's in the zone and he commands stuff, like I think he showed that he can beat this lineup with his stuff. So like that's the positive I want to take from it is he has the ability to get through this lineup maybe 2.5, 3 times and get us deep into the game. It's just if we can be with command and also be in the zone a little bit more, no wild pitches, anything like that, and just be dominant like he has. And that's why I think that we just have to keep rolling with him in the starting rotation, especially with the way the other guys are throwing too. I think you have to give these guys their opportunity to pitch through controversy and have some struggles like this so that they know when the big situation comes up that they've done it before and they're okay with it. And that's why I think today, like, yes, it was a bummer today, a bummer yesterday, but I also think it's just great learning experiences for these young arms. And I mean, for Brandon, yes, today didn't go exactly how I wanted to, but I think that in the future, this is going to be a learning experience and only get him better.
So the couple of questions more specifically I have, both about this start and in general. One is about the sinker, right? That's the pitch we heard so much about this spring. It's nasty. It's a bowling ball. It's got great movement, great metrics, all this. He's had difficulty commanding it at times in some individual starts. This one was one of them, some big misses with it. What do you make of as a pitcher, right? When there's one pitch in particular, like is that something that you experience where sometimes just this particular, like my command is, I feel fine, but I just can't locate this pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, especially for a reliever, that's why I had 3 pitches. I didn't have the Corey fastball, curveball special. They're both one little bit off the bench, but I had to have sometimes just wasn't always working. But I think that's another thing. Like as far as learning experience for him, if the sinker isn't there that day and isn't, you want to go away from an old certain situation where it's going to be like majority of the time effective. Like if hey, we've thrown multiple pitches. We've gone back-to-back changeups or back-to-back breaking balls, sinker now type of thing. Like, I think that's something that William and Brandon will both figure out together as they get to know each other more too. I think catchers pick up on that stuff really quickly. And I think at this point in time, I think the sinker needs to keep throwing it. We can't just get rid of it. Like it's a great pitch to get ground balls for one. And also, I mean, we've seen it when it's really, really good. and getting underneath the barrel and getting swings and misses, inside to righties and obviously not nearly as much to lefties, but just it's a pitch you can't get rid of. But I think that he needs to learn that when it's gone, or if it's not the best it can be, like let's let it go.
Yeah.
Move on. Let's go with the other pitches that we know are going to be successful the majority of the time. So, but yeah, as far as that, like, yeah, you can't give it up because you're going to need it at some point in time. It's just let's find a way to. Yes, it might be elite numbers wise. Maybe in the ABs it doesn't work as well, but let's find the times to throw it in there where it's going to be as effective as we want it to be.
So with that, it's always difficult to try to jump inside a guy's mindset or the mental side of it. I do wonder, kind of watching him though, and when you just in general, when you see a guy's stuff at his level and you see the dominant flashes too, and then start in and start out, he can't consistently piece it together. You do wonder if there's maybe some sort of mental or approach, or just like what's the word I'm looking for? Intent with the pitch, adjustment. Like, do you get any sense of something in that realm that could be beneficial to him? Obviously from afar.
Right. I also think it's tough with these younger guys too, because granted they are on this schedule in the minor leagues. It's 6 days. They get a day off. They're consistent. They get consistent rest all the time. They like it's a different schedule when you get to the big leagues. You're flying every 3 days to 6 days. Flying doesn't give you recovery nearly as well. You're playing every single day. It's not in the same city every single day. So there's so many factors that go into that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as the sinker, someday maybe he gets great rest and consistent rest, and his recovery is great, and he comes out and the sinker is the best pitch he has. And some days that maybe they had a flight from the West Coast or they have a flight from the East Coast and they didn't get good sleep one night, so kind of stacks that with these young guys that I think that this early on in the season, and seeing, like, we know all the arms that we're throwing right now, like they're big league arms. These guys aren't. They're if they are, they should be. They all should be a starter for a big league team wherever. We're happy to have them right now with Milwaukee, but we know, like, Brent's got the stuff to be like a top-tier starter in the big leagues. We've seen it.
Right.
So it's just now, can he figure out his routine, get things down? Need to be the same every outing, and I think that now he's learning how to do that.
Well, he'll keep getting to learn how to do it in the big league rotation. It's interesting that the Brewers, are kind of tipping their hand on what they feel the future is for Brandon Sproat. They feel